Go to CornhuskerStateGames.com. If you've experienced a sports injury, joint, or back pain, trust your care to Nebraska Orthopedic Center, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hello?
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with yourself for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Koppel. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Hump Day. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Norman. We are live on the stream. Like Marty Schottenheimer, you've seen, we got the Gleam up here, 1040 O Street. The Mecca Sports Radio in your great city of Lincoln, but also Omaha and the great state of Nebraska. We are brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients of Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. If you're in Lincoln, 168th and Maple. Up there in the O. Without further ado, man, I woke up excited for today. Always am excited, but the ability to have, well, the fact that we're on the stream, number one, and then so that means we can go as long as we want, generally, obviously within reason. But then to do the obscure quarterback edition is delightful. I mean, when you're thinking about names of Babe Laufenberger, Wade Wilson, Tommy Kramer wasn't just obscure, but Tommy Kramer. You're talking about dudes like Bob Gagliano, Sean Salisbury, Moses Marino. I'm giving up all my stuff right now. I mean, just the amount. I mean, really, to be honest with you, it's like if you can just walk and chew gum, you can play quarterback in the league. I mean, from J.P. Lossman, Matt Barkley, what's the dude, Cade McNown? McCown.
Yeah, McNown.
Josh,
So,
Luke,
Josh-
that
yeah.
whole
so there's
family.
Cade McNown and then Josh McCown. There's several Mac
But the
somethings.
one that was at UCLA when they had that run, he was a lefty. Remember, he
Oh,
was drafted by the
yeah,
Bears, and then
dude.
remember he was dating a Playboy model, so he came late to training camp, got cut.
Well, fair trade.
Yeah. Well, at the time he thought it was a fair trade, and until he couldn't get traded, so he got cut. Just those guys and that blessed NFL locker room is amazing. Just because now, granted, I mean it's not saying that anybody can play quarterback. I mean, obviously that's why they nicknamed the name for armchair quarterbacks. But realistically, if you're in the right situation at the right time, you can end up on an NFL roster and in some cases play a long time in the NFL. And before we get into this, for this, you Chiefs fans, okay? For you Chiefs fans, I get it. You listen, you guys, you backdoored your way into the Super Bowl championship this year. This is not no true Chief fan said, you know what, we thought we were going to win it this year, but you did. You outcoached, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, had the epic game where he was 11-11, couldn't get stopped or wasn't stopped all playoffs, so forth and so on. Defense was excellent. But you Chiefs fans, I want to ask you this. Were you a Chiefs fan? Did you wear the Chiefs gear when Steve DeBerg was your quarterback? When Steve DeBerg would just obliterated his pinky and couldn't play? Were you there when were you a Chiefs fan then? Were you wearing your Chiefs gear there then?
Dave Krieg.
Yeah, Dave Craig. Yeah, all these guys. Were you wearing it then? Were you wearing it? Were you wearing the hat? I mean, I saw a guy at the gym, DP. He had on Chiefs sweats. He had on some red shoes. He had a Chiefs shirt. He had a Chiefs sweatshirt and a Chiefs hat. I know for a fact when Dave Craig was, when Steve DeBerg was their quarterback, there is no way in the world that you were cheering for Steve DeBerg to be your Kansas City Chief quarterback to hand it off to my man Barry Word Up and Christian the Nigerian Nightmare Okoye.
Here's where I always measure people that go back to your previous GOAT, right? Your previous GOAT. So Mahomes is the current GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, if you're a Chiefs fan, you have to go back and you got to say it in
Hank's
strength. Yeah, you got to call him Leonard, right? Because that's how Hank called him from the sideline, Leonard.
Yeah, well, especially when he was in trouble.
Hey, Leonard. Now, who was the quarterback right before Lenny and right after Lenny? And watch Chief fans scatter.
Depending on age,
right?
I'll give
some
it
will
in
scatter, right?
A lot of Chiefs fans don't even know Rich Gannon played for them.
Here's what was fantastic: that Mike Livingston, like we remember, this was a
coming up with names just like Mike Livingston in the white pages,
right?
When you look up, so you remember back when we had Austin's way before your day.
I had a phone book, Jay.
Okay, well
I know what a phone book is,
and there's 8 million Mike Livingston, and he was with the Chiefs.
Yeah, and that if you didn't have an Elvis Gerbach jersey, or a Damon Hewart jersey,
Brody Croyle,
right?
Yeah.
Right, like tell me really if you really went through.
Yeah.
Like, do you have the Trent Green number 10? Did you wear that one? Did you get the Tyler Thigpen jersey, or would you bypass that? Wait.
Man,
right?
I mean,
what about the Matt Castle jersey? Did you buy the Matt Castle?
Hey, he was a huge free agent signing.
Hey, did you get that Chase Daniel 10? Did you splurge?
He was good.
Are you going to get the Carson Wentz jersey?
So this is what's really funny. I was talking to some football people today about it, because they saw the clip and they're like, "Oh, y'all were wild yesterday." But then I asked the question, like, who's the quintessential middle of the pack NFL starting quarterback? Like perfectly in the middle. They're not terrible,
but they're not.
But they're not
good.
great, right?
Yeah.
They're not great. So I understand at first everybody who is a starting quarterback in the NFL is elite.
Yeah.
Right? You're one of 32 on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So fair. You're right. But you split those 32 into thirds. Right? And so we'll go to the top 10 a year ago.
Okay.
Those are the great quarterbacks
In the league now.
Right.
Okay.
You could say that the second 10 is good, but somewhere in the middle of that pack, they okay. They okay. And they're folks so the bottom, if I told you the bottom 10 and said that we're going to set the tone for this with Sam Howell.
He's no Jeff Garcia.
He okay. He okay. Aiden O'Connell, who may be a starting quarterback again this year. Kenny Pickett.
Oof.
The ever popular Mac Jones. Bryce Young, baby Bryce. And Zach Wilson. Listen.
That's booty.
John David booty.
Right?
Yeah, that's garbage. That group right there.
Right? Like if those are your starters.
They would have a hard time winning a state championship right now.
Right? That elite in the high school space, because they were 4- and 5-star quarterbacks who then got to college and had enough success to get drafted high enough to, propel themselves.
Number one, yeah.
Right? Propel themselves up in it. But then here's the name that we kept landing on. And this was talking to 4 different former NFL quarterbacks. And I said, if I said to you to tell me the average starting quarterback, not the worst in the league, not in the best.
Right.
Austin Orman, I apologize in advance because they went to your Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
1985 starter, Mike Pagel. As the standard for he okay.
What about Art Schlichter?
Right. Like the Colts had enough of a run that this was true. That Mike Pagel would give you, how about this one? Ready? And we talked about him yesterday, but we also bypassed a lot of it. But remember, in the space that we're in, that Gus Frerotte, my dude Gus.
He probably, yeah.
My dude Gus, we not mad at you, but we can't really ride with you.
Yeah, probably Gus. Yeah.
Like, if you're my guy in in November, either things went terribly well or terribly wrong, and both are equally as likely to have happened.
Yeah.
That you ain't happy, you're not unhappy, you just maybe not satisfied. Here's another one for you. Through all of this place. In Detroit, Eric Hipple.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? We're in the real meat and potatoes of basic, he okay.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks. We brought up Buffalo, and the list was longer than we thought. Jay Foreman.
Hey, I know, man. I know. It's cringeworthy. I didn't know. Before we get into Buffalo, there's one dude that he has a Redskins connection.
Okay.
And he won a national championship.
There were a couple.
Light skin for the win, Jason Campbell.
Yeah, Jason, brother Jay he all right. He all right.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like we weren't thrilled, but we understood.
And through the circumstances, he played good.
Right?
And he got a big contract at Cleveland.
Like, we tried to validate how this brother was going to come in. It was DC. So, he got an extra bonus point.
Yeah.
In DC. We're going to give him a shot. Okay. Right? Because we've had bad white quarterbacks. Might as well give ourselves with an average.
You've had Gardner Minshew's.
Right. Right. But Jason Campbell was disappointing.
And Cleveland. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and Cleveland.
Like, I understood.
But I got it one even better than Eric Hipple before we dive into Buffalo.
Okay.
That you talk about average quarterback, I think when you're right in the middle of the road, you'll have 3 games. You're like, okay, if we can build on this and get this more consistent, he could actually be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have them 3 games. You're like, hey, we need to. We are in the draft.
Yeah, we got to make a change.
We actually have to trade our starting linebacker to get up in the draft. And then you know what happens usually towards the end of the season after this quarterback in those 3 games played you out of the playoffs.
Yep.
He gives you a glimpse of the good side. You know who it is?
Yeah.
Who's went around the league and actually had a chance to come back to the league and chose not to. Kyle Orton. From Chicago to Denver to Dallas, to the point that Dallas tried to bring him back, and he was like, listen, I can't do it anymore in Dallas, and just said, I'm going to walk away from a couple $1 million during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring him back.
He was so average, absolutely average, that when he made it to Buffalo, his job was to just simply not be as average as another Buffalo average great. Trent Edwards.
From Stanford.
Yeah.
Hey, they literally was like, please.
But
please.
Do you remember when he got drafted? Because when he got drafted, he had won like 5 games or something like that. And I remember,
threw for 65%.
Yeah. But he won like 5 games, and they're like, oh, he's got a strong arm. Man, he was throwing ducks in Buffalo.
Until they realized this is where analytics started to take over, right? Because the numbers would tell you, he's okay. Until you looked at, there were 3 consecutive games for Buffalo in December during the Trent Edwards run where they had to punt 4 times a game, plus 4 times a game, because he would take a sack on 3rd down.
Yeah.
Like they said,
he was
this is
padding
how
his
you,
stats.
right? Right. Instead of throwing the interception.
Yeah. The quarterbacks do that.
Right. He was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take the sack and go to the sideline and we'll work it out.
And you know where they get that from? And I learned this when I think Rob Johnson was the quarterback, and Alex Van Pelt was in the locker room. Quarterbacks would take sacks so it wouldn't affect their QBR rating.
Yep.
And that was a big stat, before analytics took it over, started to really be, part of the evaluation process. It was a big stat to where they would evaluate the difference between, say, like a starter or a potential starter or a free agent pickup was QBR rating. So you have quarterbacks out here selling their offensive line out for the betterment to get their contract, and offensive linemen getting cut because they can't, pass, protect against highly skilled rushers for more than 4 seconds.
And it took a group of Ivy League quarterbacks to come up with the phrase catch radius.
Yeah.
Because
it's a big word.
Because you needed an explanation. Hey, listen, I'm making good throws.
And you better catch them.
They're not catching the good throws.
Yeah.
And the analytics popped up and said, no, these weren't good throws. These were okay throws, but no, not good.
The approach I went to this was you had to have like a fair number of wins, right, to be he's okay. So you start by winning percentage is immediately what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Anything over like 52% win percentage is disqualifying. So here are the names that I came up with.
Yep.
Jim Everett.
You like him?
He's okay.
He's okay.
He won 41% of his games. Vinny Testaverde won 42% of his games.
He played forever, though.
Kerry Collins.
Hold on. Vinny Testaverde gets a pass. You want to know why he gets a pass? You ready for this?
Sure.
So when my dad went into the Hall of Fame or the Ring of Fame down in Miami, Vinny Testaverde came in. He's cool as a fan. Now, he remembered playing against each other, and he played like 22 years or something. And he, he's a pilot, so he flew his own plane down, but he still is rocking the shag.
Yeah, Vinny owned Miami.
Oh yeah,
and
still does.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he tricked it off against Penn State though.
Well, he had the curly man. Like look. Vinny put work in.
Vinny was the first white quarterback to cross over. You know when they say you in music you cross over? He was crossing over big time down in Miami. All right, let's get back to
Would you rather have Steve Bartkowski or Dan Pastorini?
Dan Pastorini. Even though he lost to Pittsburgh.
Dante. Dante Pastorini. No. Let me say this.
Barkowski was cold-blooded too.
Yeah,
but
because he had Billy White Shoes,
Yeah.
he had Jenkins, he had some dudes.
But they were garbage though back then.
And he had a good
bad.
tight end. So it was
Junior Miller down there?
Yeah. So
right,
he had some dudes. But then Dante Pastorini did it in tough times because that brother had to face Pitt, that steel curtain twice. Then he had to go to Cleveland in the cold. Then he had to go to Cincinnati in the cold.
Isn't that the point, though? If he was more than just okay, the cold doesn't bother him?
Listen,
not back
Barkowski
then.
played in Atlanta, bro.
Yeah.
It rained every now and then, and they played in a terrible field in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium with the baseball diamonds still sitting in 2/3 of the field.
Get all type of
mud in the face mask,
rash and stuff sliding in a second.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Pastorini had swagger.
Yeah, he still does, man. And I mean, he was a big quarterback, though. I didn't realize that when I met him when I was down in Houston. I didn't realize how big he was. He's a big old dude. Barkowski was great, too. Barkowski is one of the original investors or one of the big investors behind how former college basketball teams get together and they play for $1 million. He's one of the big investors.
TBT.
Yeah, he's the one that's one of the big investors in it. And those two, Jim Everett, he's like Kyle Orton because for every game that and I used to like the Rams because I hope my dad's not like Eric Dickerson is my favorite running back of all time.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, I don't get like
Come
I'm
on,
not a
Jay.
fanboy. Like, I didn't kick it with George. I didn't did all that. Like when I met Eric Dickerson, I was like, yeah. I took a picture with him and my dad. The two
Did
favorite
he have
running
the
backs.
goggles on?
No.
Oh.
And I asked him about that. He said he couldn't see and he didn't want to put contacts in there. But let me tell you something.
Does he know that he was mocked in coming to America?
Yeah. And the thing is, here's the funny thing about it. I liked him so much. I didn't have long hair, but I got me a Jerry curl just because of Eric Dickerson. And I was 29. Yeah, yes, I did. I had the neck roll and everything. Oh yeah.
I was about to call you your government name. I literally had to catch myself.
And I was hitting that sideline. I was hitting that sideline on them cats too. Yes, sir.
I almost just
I love
called
Eric
you
Dickerson
by
man.
Your government name.
Jay Lamont Foreman.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Right. Just call me Lamont. Oh man, but Jim Everett was on those teams, and they had Flipper Anderson and Henry Ellard.
What year was that? What year was Jerry Curl apexed?
Every year.
No, there was a stretch.
Oh, when he first got in the league, because he had every pad imaginable.
Yeah, he had pads under his neck.
He had rib pads. But the thing is, Jim Everett would show. Let me tell you something. He would lose the games. They would get in the playoffs, and Jim Everett's best game was when they went to New York Giants Stadium, and he threw for like 380 yards, upset the Giants. After that, he didn't really do much.
So many of such a great era. Like I'm sorry, it's gonna take me a minute to recoup from you having a Jerry curl. Like
me?
Okay, so
So
folks out there, anybody that knows Jay Foreman and was around can find the Jay Foreman Jerry curl. Like if you have,
but I had the respects though.
I will give you coffee free for a month.
Yeah.
Coffee free for a month if you have a personal picture, not one you found on the internet, but a personal picture of Jay Foreman with a Jerry curl. I will buy you coffee for the entire month, the rest of May. Like literally.
Right. I love some Eric Dickerson, dog. Man,
I never went that route. Like I never.
You never went to Jerry curl?
No, because I don't know.
It lasted for like a day. I mean, you could do practice. I didn't, I did it, thought it was cool. I went out there, I wore number 29, everything. Oh, yeah. I love Eric Dickerson. He was smooth.
There are certain, because everybody had the people that they tried to mimic, right? And then it depends on the era of who you ran like or wanted to run like. And I went through, I'll throw you a name because we can do the same thing with running backs, right? But I wore number 26.
For
when I was in high school. So I wore number 26 in high school.
Wendell Tyler.
Wendell Tyler was who I ran.
He was cold-blooded.
I ran. Yeah. It was not a scoot. It was kind of an in-between slide.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Like a bit of a scooter.
He had the lazy dead leg.
Yeah, and then I would plant the foot and get vertical and take really long strides.
Yeah. That
was who it was. And then when they moved me to receiver, there were certain things that you wanted to do. Now, your father got me in a lot of trouble. Because I would catch it out of the backfield and I wanted to go one hand. Right?
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go spin cycle, right? Like I didn't go spin doctor.
Yeah.
Gonna give it to him. Leave him out at the hash mark. Game. Right? Because you catch it out of the backfield and it's just me on a linebacker who has no shot.
Yeah.
Like no shot. And all I saw was 44.
Right.
Put it out there, show it to him. Yeah. Spin back inside. Gone to work. As a receiver, I thought that I was Drew Pearson.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because that sort of stride worked for me.
Yeah.
And that sort of separation. There are a bunch of mid-level, like we talk about quarterbacks. There are a bunch, and we're not done with quarterbacks because there's some names in this list that Jay Foreman, quarterbacks who started over 50 games and didn't win over 50% of those games. Right? That means they kept putting you out there to just hold on. Like, don't screw this up. Okay. You ready for this? That some of these numbers. So Baker Mayfield has won 46% of his games. Derek Carr has won 45.
Dang.
Matthew Stafford, 48. We're giving credit to a lot of people. Marcus Mariota, 46%. Jameis Winston.
He's a boy. He's a national.
42%.
He's a national treasure, though.
Case Keenum.
That's another one.
45.
That's another one, man. Is Case Keenum still in the league?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
He ain't right back.
45. Tyrod Taylor. 49. Mini pocket QB.
Pocket Hercules.
43%. And he's not the worst. You know who's below him? You ready for these two folks? At 38%, Daniel Jones. Dang. At 38%, our boy, Jacoby Brissett. At 38%, Sam Darnold. 36%, BYU's finest, Zach Wilson.
Where's Sam Bradford at?
We gonna get there. You know who's at a number that makes my head scratch? At 26% of his wins. Now, he's only started 38 games because he's only been in the league for that long. But Justin Fields has only won 26% of his starts.
Sam Bradford went 34, 48, and 1.
Man. Kyle Allen, 37%. Davis Mills from the Carolina Panthers.
He got long neck too. He was with Houston.
Mm-hmm.
21% of his wins. Sam Howell, 28%. These are they're not even, Tyler Huntley, 30%. There's some quarterbacks out here just, how are y'all keeping money? I don't understand. I
think it's because it's a crapshoot.
These are some terrible numbers.
But anybody, you can find a good quarterback anywhere. That's the thing.
Matthew Stafford has started 214 games in the NFL.
Yeah, but you got to think he was on the team that went 0-16. So that's a hard deficit to make up.
If you took away the 16, he's above 500.
See, that's.
But he currently sits at 40. Look, it ain't my fault. You lost all of them. Like you could have won 2. And
2 and 14, at 50%.
Like we could have argued that. Yeah, the Drew Carr is still getting love. It's like in that in between.
Man, I'm telling you, man. It's a blessing to get drafted high, like number 1, like Bryce Young, and I was there when David Carr got drafted. But listen, I can tell you, being in the locker room and looking across that other locker room at the offensive side, they didn't have nobody over there that could play, that could really
nobody.
That offensive line, dog. I used to look out there. My man was so like, because he wasn't scared. David's tough, but he had got sacked so much, it was like just in his like body movements. Because I'm good friends with Joey Porter, so Joey Porter got like from you to DP, he just fell down and just Joey Porter hit his incentives because he had 3 sacks in like the first 3 series because he had been used to getting back there so much. Or David Carr used some guys in his face.
Oh my goodness gracious! Bro.
So I mean, I mean, look, man, for teams, I mean, you got to think. You just have to wonder if Tom Brady went to the Arizona Cardinals, how many years did he play? Would he play?
Well, he'd have been on the reserve. Like he'd have been on the
injured reserve, sure.
They would have,
but he wouldn't have been the GOAT,
right? Like it was the perfect situation.
Right. I mean, when people like Joe Montana was always thought of as the GOAT until Tom Brady, right? He fell to the 3rd round. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's situation. It's no different than, Randy Moss going to the Vikings. And having another all-pro over there could teach you how to be a pro, and then Randy Moss goes out and, there's only the second to Jerry
Rice. Can we
Rice.
shout out the 49ers for doing pretty much a better job than any other organization in finding a quarterback?
Yeah, from the very beginning, yeah. I mean, heck, they even had Jim Plunkett in there.
I mean, think about
it.
So John Brody, Hall of Famer. Y.A. Tittle, Hall of Famer. John Brody, Hall of Famer. Then you had your 1 year, literally 1 year, where you gave Spurrier a chance. Brody takes it back over again. 1 year of Norm Snead. Again, virtual Hall of Famer, very close, iffy. Jim Plunkett for 2 years.
Yep.
Steve DeBerg for 3 years.
Young Steve DeBerg.
Yeah, young Steve DeBerg, like before. And they so much so they had to go get Montana. Montana, Steve Young, Jeff Garcia.
Who was good.
Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. Then you had the hiccup era of Hoyer, Mullins, Garoppolo, Purdy. I'm not sure there's a better run.
No. And the thing is, when the Jimmy Garoppolo that they traded for was in that flight from New England to San Francisco, wasn't the same dude that got off that plane.
Right.
So that was a good move. And then also you got to think the bad luck with Trey Lance. And then they, got supreme good luck with Brock Purdy. So, I mean.
Oh, Austin Orman. You ready?
Hey,
for the Colts?
Hey, you know who the dude he like always. This is when the quarterbacks are average.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I was young, is whoever's card you always get. You know whose card you always get from the Colts? Jack Trudeau.
Amen.
Remember him?
Amen.
Jack, number 10,
Illinois
Jack Trudeau.
Finest.
Yeah, Jack Trudeau.
Illinois finest. Listen.
Only if Jeff George worked out. Only if Jeff George worked out.
Isn't it?
They wouldn't give him no money.
None.
They wouldn't give him no money.
The Colts had a run as well. Like a really good run. Because once you got it right, once you got through with the Mark Hermans of the world and the Gary Hugabooms of the world, again, second level Gary Hugaboom.
Right.
Not Cowboys Hugaboom.
Yeah.
Mark Herman, Browning Nagel.
Hey, hold on.
Not real.
Hey, do you know where he went to school?
I've never heard of the man before today.
Louisville, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Louisville's quarterbacks just be running the okie doke on you.
Boy.
Between him and Chris Redmond.
Craig Erickson, Paul Justin.
That name cannot be real.
It's real. He actually started 4 games.
Dude with 2 first names.
For 3 years, he started anywhere from 2 to 4 games for the Colts.
See, Justin Paul makes sense. Paul Justin, that's just backwards.
Paul Justin, who was battling with Jim Harbaugh and Kelly Holcomb.
That's
for the
right.
starting job. Then the Colts said, enough. Here comes Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
Then it's been a mess.
Then it's, then it's you did a thing.
Do you think Andrew Luck gets in the Hall of Fame?
No.
DP?
Hall of Fame level talent, not Hall of Fame level production.
I am a member of that club. He is not.
And he probably needed 2 more years, right? Of good years. I mean, because
two on the low end, probably 3 to 5. Because he didn't have that signature win, right? Andrew Luck was going to go retire without a ring. Anyway.
His greatest legacy are the letters to home.
Yes. The Royals do that with a. Speaking of Fizo guy, here's a guy, Mitch Meyer.
Every Andrew Luck.
No, his legacy.
Special performance for the Colts today.
His legacy is that neck hair, bro. How are you? Right? You got a $5,000 suit. You couldn't go get a $5 haircut.
He could not.
I mean, he would be on there once. Do you remember when the neck hair was coming over the tie?
Yes.
Right? Right?
Yes.
Like you didn't just for men that. That is just wild bush coming out of you.
He was still killing fools.
Yeah, and he was out of his uniform. Yeah. Leave that man alone. Leave that man alone, man.
Yep.
Leave that man alone.
Look, man, here's what. Okay, so in the era of he's okay, to remember that the Raiders have had so many opportunities to get it right, and somehow in this fantastic history, again, Ken Stabler and Darryl LaMonica set a very high standard, right?
And Jim Plunkett,
right? And then you go to Plunkett, but then you get special, and you go into the he's okay pile because hey, here comes Jay Schrader, one of the great physical talents to ever throw a football, that could throw a baseball from the center field fence to home plate.
Yeah,
rocket arm.
He had a rocket arm.
No
accuracy, but he could throw that bad
boy. Mark Wilson from BYU.
Zach's dead?
No.
Well,
maybe.
probably.
Well, yeah. Hey, in that lineage.
Provo ain't that big.
Yeah, exactly.
Provo ain't that big.
Let me pass it on down to you.
Rusty Hilger. They even gave Vince Evans a run with the Raiders.
I remember when they got Vince Evans.
Then Todd Marinovich.
Dang.
Then Billy Joe Holbert. Jeff George, Wade Wilson, Donald Hollis.
Ooh, that's a trivia question there, Donald Hollis.
Rich Myrer.
Yeah, he's Notre Dame.
Marcus Tuiasosopo. Then Kerry Collins, Andrew Walter, Aaron Brooks, Josh McCown, Dante Culpepper, Jamarcus Russell, Andrew
Dante
Walter,
had a run there. That's right.
Bruce Gradkowski, Charlie Fry.
Dang.
Got 3 starts. Jason Campbell, Mr. Basic himself. Terrell Pryor.
Here's the Holy Trinity: Charlie Fry, Charlie Batch, Charlie Whitehurst.
Oh, that is a wonderful Mount Rushmore of Charlies. Quarterback Charlies. Matt McGloin and Matt Flynn in the same year. You got all the Matts. None of them were good. And then E.J. Manuel before Derek Carr.
Dang. I mean, Aaron Brooks. You want to hear a funny story about Aaron Brooks? We're playing down in New Orleans, or playing them, and they got this. I mean, they were good. I mean, they were big. That was when they had Ricky Williams. They were physical, and Deuce McAllister and all that, and LaCharles Bentley and Kyle Turley. So Aaron Brooks comes out in this, Joe Horn and all this. He come out this bad boy in some Air Force Ones.
Mm-hmm.
Untied. My man was wide open down there. So he was out there. He threw one pick to Aaron Glenn, one to Marcus Coleman.
Who wants up?
I mean, literally, he ain't study. You know, he ain't study his playbook.
Not even the 4 hours.
No. But he's a good talent from Virginia.
Yeah, I loved him. Well, because he was cousins with Terry Kirby.
Yeah, and wasn't he related to Vic somehow? Yeah.
So I mean, it's all Virginia Beach, Hampton, all in that space. And then he had a 3-game stretch that was good as anybody, which is how he made all his money.
Right.
He had a really good 3-game stretch, and then he could never duplicate it. and it became a real issue. Cleveland Browns, Jay Foreman, Cleveland Browns. And we will jump straight from the Brian Sipe, Bernie Kosar era to Mike Tomczak.
Damn, he played there?
Yes, he did. Don Strock. Gary Danielson, our favorite local announcer. Eric Zier from Georgia,
the lefty.
Mark Rippon.
I used to watch him on ESPN.
Ty Detmer.
Man, all the Detmers. Coy, Ty, what's the other one?
Daddy.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson. Spurgeon Wynn. Kelly Holcomb, who's just stealing money. Luke McGowan. Charlie Fry. Derek Anderson.
Yep. I had him on my list.
Brady Quinn. Ken Dorsey from Miami.
Right. He was a 7th round pick.
Colt McCoy. Jake Delhomme. Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace. I had him on my list too.
Thad Lewis.
Yeah.
Not real.
Yeah.
The brother Thad Lewis.
Yeah, I remember him. Hey, do you know where Seneca Wallace went to school?
Iowa State, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What about like a Tavares Jackson?
Tavares Jackson, yeah. He used to be at the Vikings, and he signed a big deal. Yeah, Seattle. He signed a big deal.
Here's a co-captain of the He's Okay quarterback club. Brandon Wheaton.
He was like 28.
Yep.
Remember, he was a first-round pick. He was 28 years old because he played baseball. Played 1 year in college. They're like, yeah, you know, before you hit 30, you probably need to try to go be in the league.
Who in the wide world of sports is Kevin Hogan? Kevin Hogan played quarterback.
He was from Stanford. That's the Jim Harbaugh stamp of approval. And David
I
Shaw.
forgot he played with the Redskins too. Oh, I do know Kevin. Oh, Kevin, my bad, bro. He's from Fairfax, Virginia. My bad, Kevin. My bad. No, he played in the camp. He threw in high school. He threw to Jonathan Allen, who was his tight end. And again, Jay, you talk about unfair. To see Jonathan Allen,
I remember,
play tight end in high school. It was the most punishing thing to watch. To watch this 255-pound running a 4.6 40 Goliath just mauling 175-pound corners from
listen, he ain't trying to make anybody miss.
No, it was interesting times. Of course, the phone's blowing up because then they want to know. Like we can do linebackers because I know that you have.
All right, yeah. Well, you know what? We'll take a quick break. Come back.
Because if you had he's all okay linebackers.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We'll do it. We're gonna take a break. Old school. We'll be right back.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Fuhrer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Join On the Block and Old School live from Scissors and Scotch on 30th and Yankee Hill on Thursday, June 6th to celebrate their grand opening. Feel better instantly with a beard trim, haircut, or a traditional shave courtesy of the experienced and professional barbers at Scissors and Scotch. Stick around after your cut and enjoy a beverage in their cozy bar area, and don't worry, there's more than just Scotch. Spend your afternoon with Scissors and Scotch at 93.7 The Ticket, live on location June 6th from 2 to 6 p.m.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars: Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up?
That's deep.
You gotta turn my mic on.
You'll never be as good as your daddy.
You gotta turn my mic on. What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, obscure linebacker edition.
Yep.
We're gonna go there.
Yep.
I mean, the normal guys are, Mike Mamula and all those guys.
They had Manti Te'o on the list.
But I would fight back against it. I think Manti Te'o, once he got to New Orleans, actually played good football. I think Manti Te'o, unfortunately, obviously when you've seen the documentary, could just never outrun that situation. Kind of like almost, before we get into it, like Spencer Rattler, it's well known now that the GMs can't get over what they saw him do as a 17, 18-year-old kid on the Netflix show QB1. They still held that against him. So it's a good lesson to learn from, those, if you got aspirations to go to college or the NFL, what you do on social media can hurt you, and it will hurt you, and it will cost you, because skill wise and the way he's played, he probably was easily a second or third round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's in a good situation, but it cost him a lot of money initially, and so he's got an uphill battle to fight. But now we're on to the linebacker edition. I don't even know. Are you starting at like a guy like Marlon Greenwood? Marlon Greenwood went from a linebacker, he went safety to linebacker, came down to Houston, tried to uphold the number 56, lasted a year. Charlie Cashley paid him buku money, and they said by halfway through the season he was working on a rap album, trying to be with Scarface down there in Houston.
There were players that. So let me use Washington as a point of reference.
Okay,
and then go back into history. And guys, one, you want to play long enough for people to remember you.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
That Washington had Brad Dusick, who played for like 11 years. I'm not sure how. Like, he looked the part,
right?
And he was always out there. But every year they try to replace him, which is why they find Monty Coleman. Like, you go and get Monty Coleman because Brad Dusick. They had Brad Dusick, Neil Olkowitz.
But listen. I remember when the Redskins were number 52, Neil Olkowitz. He's another guy that was in every Topps football card package.
You were gonna get that Neil Olkowitz.
You were gonna have 55 Neil Olkowitz.
How about this? Sponsorship out there on the block or Old School Card Company. If you know someone that owns one, let's do like a segment a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come in. We'll open a pack.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Like it was. So in their greatest years, their greatest run, people will talk about linebackers who played in several Super Bowls. Mel Kaufman is not a name that is mentioned. Mel Kaufman, who looked like Uncle Mel, as a rookie. Like, he came into the league looking like Uncle Mel Kaufman.
Yeah.
And wasn't overly impressive until you saw him just show up at the right moment all the time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the standard for it. Greg Manusky would have been if he didn't become a head coach. Manusky didn't become a head coach, there are a couple of guys. Greg Manusky, Rusty Tillman, they are in the Bill Cowher linebacker crew of guys who were really good special teams players and third down backs who became head coaches.
Austin, do you know where Bill Cowher played in the pros?
I do not.
Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns.
Ooh.
You know where he went to college?
That I did not know. Where'd he go?
NC State.
That's right, he did. Yep,
that's right.
That's right.
NC State.
Yep.
So there's some guys that when you start to identify now Buffalo has quite a few.
Of bad linebackers?
They're not bad linebackers. It's just they're okay. Like,
they were horrible.
They're okay. Who are guys that were in the league? You can tell me a team, and I don't know. You might want to like Ron Rivera was an okay linebacker. Like, he wasn't.
I thought he was all right. I thought he was.
Look, see that's
I thought he was.
Point proven. In those 3.5 seconds, there's the point.
No, you know who was worse than Ron Rivera was when the Bears had, because we had WGN, Minnesota, so I'd watch the Bears as much as the Vikings. Was Greg Morrison, number 51 for the Bears. First of all, you wore Dick Butkus' number. That's like what you should never do.
Yeah, don't do that.
And you were horrible.
Yeah. Buffalo, when I think of he's okay. He's okay. Gabe Northern.
Man, why are you going to live, my man?
Listen, I'm not mad at you, Gabe. I'm not mad.
Hey, listen.
That's not what I'm saying.
For people out there, if you want to know about Gabe Northern, and I didn't know this, first of all, I got a Gabe Northern stories out the wazoo.
Right.
So we get there in rookie minicamp, right? And we do rookie minicamp, then we have our first minicamp.
Austin, he fell for it.
You must have known because we're on Facebook or something like that. So Gabe Northern. So here's the funny thing.
Got him.
Listen, we're staying at the 4 Point Sheridan in Buffalo. There's nothing to do in Buffalo. We don't have a car. We don't do anything.
Did he upgrade on you too?
No, he was a veteran. right? But Gabe, when you see him, he was a defensive end in college. He played at LSU. My man is yoked. I mean, he had the big neck roll, the one that was just a block of foam, and then he put his jersey over there, and Gabe was yoked, right? So he was an outside line. He was a starting outside linebacker, and then Sam Rogers was the other one. Sam was married and had like 85 kids, so he never did anything. So we're at the 4 Point Sheridan. We don't have a ride because everybody's. First of all, you don't know if you're gonna get cut,
right?
So I ain't bringing no car up there. So next thing you know, we get a call from down at the lobby. He was like, "Hey, you Rayon." I call him Dookie. I mean, I call him the real name for Dookie, Ray, because that's how he looked in his uniform. He was from LSU. He's like, "You guys going with me, right?" Yo, he had us out all night in Buffalo until we had to go to the airport because the bars in Buffalo close at 6 a.m. in New York, 6 a.m. Flights at 8:30. Pack up, send you hammered, going right. So Gabe Northern, if you go back and see the video of in one of our playoff games, there's Bruce Smith talking to Wade Phillips, where Bruce goes up to Wade and takes the few times that Wade wore the headphones, and Bruce is like, "Man, I can't play with him. I can't play with that dude. He's sorry as you know what," and he kept saying it because Bruce is mic'd up. Me not knowing who he's talking about. He talking about Gabe. He talking about Gabe.
There's Jay Foreman in the back of the picture, like Forrest Gump on the Alabama sideline, just walking up behind everything. Like, what y'all talking about?
Hey, listen, I heard it. I heard it. I heard Bruce say it the way, and I left. I was like, I hope he ain't talking about me. But then I knew I wasn't in the game, so I knew I was good.
There's
right?
Jay just waving like Forrest Gump.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, I went down. Listen, here's the thing. I went down and told my boy Keith Newman, because he was the other rookie linebacker. I said, "Yo, Bruce is giving somebody the business. I ain't going down there." Keith was like, "I wonder who he's talking about." Keith goes down there, right, and finds out, who it is. He talking about Gabe Northern
in broad daylight on national TV.
No, it's on NFL film.
No. This is the funny thing that he did and here's the thing. Back then they had no mercy.
Oh, Bruce didn't have no mercy about anything.
And the NFL films, Steve Zimmer would just go, "You know what? Run it."
Yeah.
Run it. Like, I'm not gonna double take it. I'm not gonna put in the outtakes. Run it. Like, if that's the thing somebody said, run it.
The only dude in Buffalo, well, Sam Rogers and Bruce used to go at it all the time, and I can't talk about what they would say because I remember being in walkthrough. Because like when you're not starting and the defense has a walkthrough, you gotta play tight end.
Yep.
Bruce is defensive end. Sam Rogers is outside linebacker. And I'm just sitting there trying to look forward. When you're back when your parents argue at the family reunion?
Yep, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Well, anyways, the only guy that used to check Bruce is Ted Washington. Number one, Ted Washington was 6'5", 385, and nobody messed with him. But here's the thing with Bruce. So Bruce, if Bruce didn't want to take on any blocks, he would call a stunt to go in, and Bruce just loop around and make the plays. That's why he was mad at Gabe. That's why he was mad at Gabe. Because Gabe's like, "I'm running this stunt," and Gabe started making plays, and Tony Baselli was throwing Bruce out the club, right? That's where it came through. Well, we're playing the New York Jets, right? And Curtis Martin, this is when Bill Park, they running that ball. Curtis Martin and all of them. Well, he tried to run a TE stunt with Ted. Ted can't boot. Ted's job is from A gap to A gap. It gets out to C, he's stopping. He walking to try to, get it back to the huddle. Well, Bruce tried to call the thing. And Ted would, hey, because I'm at linebacker, right? Ted do this. Because Ted wore 2 gloves. That's how big his hands were.
Yeah.
He wore 2 gloves. So he would, wave you off. So as the play's going, I come up and take on the guard. Ted's cussing out Bruce while he's got 2 guys. And then Ted would talk to himself and then talk to me, right? Because he always make fun of me because I was slew-footed. So he called me Sweetie Rabbit, right? So he's like, "Sweetie Rabbit." He's like, "I hate playing with him." He's like, "I'm telling you, he calls that one more time, we fight. We fight that halftime."
See?
Yeah.
Bruce. No.
Yeah. Tell Gabe Northern, man.
We're gonna have some more fun. We get
who's other on that list?
Top of the hour. We're gonna start with a head coach and a known defensive coordinator.
Oh, you're gonna be. I know who that is. Jack Del Rio.
No, close. Same HI club. We'll talk about that when we come back. Top of the hour. We'll jump over. Austin, get us out of here.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. If the week's been too hectic to even think about dinner, or your family can't handle one more night of leftovers, then it's time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
The need in our community, if you just look at the numbers, it's frightening. We're serving over 1,000 kids every day. With the passion of our people, I really feel like our potential to be of even greater service to kids and families who are struggling is just unlimited. But in order to have the greatest impact, we need all the help we can get from the community.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, DP. We are Old School. Brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese. Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and here in Lincoln, Lancaster County, 1040 O Street. We are live in effect at the Ticket. Obscure linebacker talk.
What's going on in town? Is there something going on in Haymarket?
I don't know.
Baseball's tonight.
Yeah. Need to get it back together.
Baseball's tonight? Okay. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, obscure linebackers is...
You threw me for first. It was the inside fastball with Neil Okowitz, and then you hit me with Gabe Northern.
So this
that's my dude.
So there's a former Buffalo Bills linebacker who became a head coach, really known as a defensive coordinator, but Jim Haslett.
Yeah, legend up there,
right? That as a player, you never went Pro Bowl, no, starter, meh, yeah, kind of, sort of. Where is Bryce Pop above the line or below the line?
Ooh, that because he had that year. He had a couple years there where he was great. I'll say he's above.
Keith Ellison.
No. Nope. No. He below it. No.
No,
I don't even know who the hell he is.
That is hilarious.
No.
That is hilarious. Here's one for you. It's a name that I'm probably more familiar with than I should be. But to think Wade Phillips was a linebacker for the Buffalo Bills.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. How about that?
Mm.
I thought that would get the look on your face.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a thing, right? Then there's these dudes that linebackers generally become pretty good coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
Make really good defensive coordinators. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So do tight ends.
Yeah.
Tight ends, quarterbacks, linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Very few receivers. Almost no running backs.
Yeah, which is odd. I mean, Eric Bieniemy, I can think of right off the hand.
Dan Reeves.
There's a few. I mean, Ernest Biner, when he coaches, was good. Stump Mitchell's a really good running back coach.
But never got the head job.
Never got the head job.
There are a lot of defensive backs and linebackers. One you mentioned earlier, Jack Del Rio. But there's a linebacker for the Cleveland Browns from 1952 to 1959. He then went on to lead his team to 4 Super Bowl championships.
As a coach?
Yes. Chuck Noll.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Noll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never put it together, right? That sometimes these dudes, of course, one of the greatest offensive linemen to ever play the game, then went on to lead the team he played for, the Super Bowl championships.
Forrest Gregg?
Art Shell,
yeah.
Before you get to, How about this linebacker who played for the Baltimore Colts and the Buffalo Bills? We talk about him a lot. Coached in Washington, Cleveland, Dallas. Marty Schottenheimer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. Here's your boy. The best eyes.
Mike Singletary.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The best eyes at the linebacker position. Can't miss it. Here's one that, okay, so this player played for the Chicago Bears, won a Super Bowl, then became a head coach. Actually, he was a defensive coordinator and an interim head coach.
For Chicago. For
Vikings.
Who was that? Mike Tyson?
Leslie Frazier.
Oh, that's right. Leslie Frazier, number 46.
Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Here's a quarterback.
He was Buffalo Bills coordinator, defensive coordinator when he didn't cover Travis Kelce with 13 seconds left.
This quarterback has won 6 Super Bowl rings. He lost 3, won 3. He played in 6 Super Bowls. Won 3, lost 3. Then became a offensive coordinator and a head coach. Played behind one of the best to ever do it. So he never really played. I think he only started 5 games his whole career. Gary Kubiak.
Yeah.
Here's
behind John Elway.
Yeah. He sat and chilled. Forrest Gregg, you mentioned. Here's one. Drafted in the first round, 1961. Won the Super Bowl as a coach, but not as a player. Actually, he did win it as a player. He won it as a player with the Dallas Cowboys. But that is not the team that you think of him with. And then because that team that he played with, he then led to the Super Bowl title as a head coach. Or as a head coach, yes.
And he was a first-round pick?
First-round draft pick. Hall of Famer.
I have no idea.
Ditka.
That's right.
Mike Ditka, because he won it with Dallas.
Yeah.
Won it with Dallas. Won it with the Bears as a coach.
Right. Won it with
who?
Won it with who?
He won
the Bears.
Like, he really became a thing, like a deep thing. Here's the one that we don't think much of. That spent his entire NFL career with the Oilers/Titans. First round draft pick. Then when Jeff Fisher was fired, he was named head coach.
Mike Munchak.
Yeah.
He's one of the best offensive line coaches ever.
Like we don't get into that
because Bruce Matthews was the other guard. That's why he gets over.
Right. That we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
So there's some dudes in this space that we go, okay.
Mike Tice.
Here's another one.
Mike Tice had one of the best exit interviews of all time when he was about to get fired.
But I had a trick question for you because I was going, this is how this one laid out. Let me find it because I had it in front of me. There's some dudes on this list. Okay. So this tight end drafted by the 49ers, played for the Vikings, played for the Steelers, won Super Bowls, played in Super Bowls with both of them, won Super Bowl titles with the Steelers, had 46 career starts, then became a head coach for Buffalo. Who is he? Played in Minnesota.
Recently?
Became the head coach for Buffalo in I want to say the 2000s. 2000.
Oh, Rex Ryan.
Mike Mularkey.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot that he was the coach.
Because him and Tice
look like each other.
Right.
Yeah,
and I was trying to figure out how both of them make this
They
work.
were on the Vikings at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
Both of them, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And
they favor each other.
They really do. They really do.
Mike Mularkey.
Mike
Dang,
Mularkey.
That's the name.
This one, an undrafted defensive back, won Super Bowls with the Steelers, then became head coach and won a Super Bowl as a head coach.
Well, it's not Donnie Shell because he works for the league. It's not Mel Blunt.
Number 27. 27.
Who's that?
Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Undrafted.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Undrafted.
Yeah. You know where he went to school? Minnesota.
Yeah. Wasn't he multi-sport guy?
Multi-sport guy, but he went to Minnesota. Tony Dungy. And he was like a quarterback, I think.
Yeah. He was. Here's one. A defensive back who played for the Cleveland Browns, was part of a 15-player trade, was a one-year member of the Washington Redskins in 57, had 27 career interceptions. Ready for this? Started his career at the University of Virginia. And then proceeded to win 2 Super Bowl championships.
With the Redskins?
No.
I had to look this one up, and oh my God.
Vince God.
Lombardi?
The 21 career interceptions is what
Vince Lombardi?
Don Shula.
That don't even seem right.
It doesn't. I didn't know there was a 15-player trade, so that's what I was curious
Back
about.
then?
But
15. So in 1953, so he played. He finished his career as a member of the Redskins. He had 21 interceptions in 73 games. But he played for the Browns in 51, was part of a 15-player trade that sent him to the Baltimore Colts. His career, he was man, he coached for the Detroit Lions. He coached for the Baltimore Colts, of course, where he led them Super Bowl, won the 2 Super Bowls with the Dolphins there. Brilliant. Here's a guy. He holds the record for the most Super Bowl appearances as a player and or coach with 9. He was a quarterback at South Carolina. Not drafted by any team coming out. Was drafted to the league and became a running back. Has participated in more Super Bowls as a player or coach than anyone else. Won a Super Bowl championship. And the last time we saw him, he was coaching a Super Bowl for the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Reeves.
Yeah, because he was with Dallas. And then he was with Denver when they was losing.
Boy.
He bad luck, though. He win? He didn't win none as a coach.
Right. Yeah. Here's one for you. Another tight end. I'll give you the hint that he's a tight end. Austin. Played 4 years for the Atlanta Falcons, the Redskins, and the Jets. Started his career playing at Vanderbilt.
I don't know who that is.
The extent of my Vanderbilt football
Mike
knowledge
Smith?
is
He led
Jay Cutler and Dale.
He led the Cardinals to their first Super Bowl appearance in 2008.
Bruce Arians.
No, he's the OC.
Ken Wisenhunt.
Ken Wisenhunt.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Ken Wisenhunt, though, he's a big dude. Because he's the offensive coordinator at Pittsburgh.
He was the offensive tackle playing tight
end.
end.
Yeah. He was the offensive coordinator at Pittsburgh.
He was ginormous.
And then he went. That's how he got the job. Tough dude, too.
Ginormous.
Also, if I can just tie back to hour one here really quick. I was on that largest trades in NFL history thing. Buffalo was involved in the trade to get Eric Dickerson to Indy.
I know he sent Cornelius Bennett down there.
The rights to Cornelius Bennett to Buffalo. Indy got Eric Dickerson.
Do you know why they traded Cornelius Bennett out of Buffalo?
Because he didn't have a Jerry curl?
No.
That would have been.
We're going to go to break, and I would tell you why Cornelius Bennett got traded out of Buffalo. God bless his heart. Jay Foreman, DP, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through May 7th is buy one, get one free on New York strips, limit 4 per visit. Also $1 off all brands of honey. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
School tells you all about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, and so on. And then there's a way we really tell what time of year it is. Sports seasons: football season, baseball season, or even off season. Well, what's the chocolate season? Well, it's now, of course. And now, and always. Whether you're looking for a caffeinated pick-me-up on the way to work, a little snack on the way home, or you need the perfect gift that's sure to be appreciated, it's time for the chocolate season, y'all. 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead at thechocolateseason.com. See you there.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Join us each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon for Youth Football 101 with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves of 7-on-7 football. The future of the sport depends on the foundation set at a young age. Hear those stories and more each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon here on 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, Austin Orman. It's interesting times and it's fun.
It's educational times.
Well, to go back, I mean, like we can fall victim to everything being the most anything currently because it's the most recent thing in that vehicle, in that vacuum. But when you talk about level of play, quality of play, sometimes we miss that. No, we have history with people who either didn't deliver, people who failed wonderfully.
Not miserably.
Right.
Wonderful.
Just failed wonderfully. Like just chef's kiss. Like you can't even be mad at Tony Mandridge for the level of failure to be that hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could talk about like those superbly hyped players. Mandridge being one of those players. Heath Schuler being one of those players. Quarterback, Ryan Leaf being one of those players. Who else is on the list? Quarterback, Demarcus Russell being on the list.
I mean, that whole Jake Walker, Blaine Gabbert, Cam Newton draft thing we went through in 2011.
But we can only
Johnny Manziel.
Like Manziel's in that space. And then there are running backs who just one who ate himself out of the league, right? Then another who ate himself out of the league in Curtis Enos.
Trent Richardson
falls in that category. They mentioned Kyle Bowler. And for him to walk into that post Super Bowls situation, there were so many good things that could have happened for him. Nope, just didn't happen. Just it wasn't allowed to happen. Then it goes into a space where, and again, I think the Mandridge thing because of level of hype. But then let me ask you, does Bosworth fall into the disappointment file? Did he had some moments, right?
He did.
Right? Didn't he did he make a Pro Bowl or no?
Trying to figure that out, actually.
Right?
I don't think so.
I just remember a stretch that he and, as Jay said, he and Manti Te'o.
Yeah, no, he did not.
Okay.
He played 3 years.
Got run over by
and
Bo.
He got run over by Bo. Only played 24 games in 3 years.
That's disappointing. Yeah, there's no there you can't candy coat that.
4 sacks in his career, all in 1 year.
Yeah, that. Here's a quarterback. We were talking about he's okay quarterbacks. They list 2 immediately at the top of the list. One being, you ready for this? He played for your Colts.
Wait.
Played for the Jets, Colts, and Falcons. It's a great first name. It's a great first name.
I'm trying to think. I'm stumped.
His first game was his best game. Then he suffered an injury the rest of the year. Completed less than 50% of his passes in his career. Browning Nagel.
Not Mike Nagel? No, Mike Pagel?
Not
Browning
Mike Pagel,
Nagel?
but Browning Nagel. Anybody that rhymed with them should not have been drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. Another I'm okay quarterback, Drew Henson from Michigan, who Cowboys drafted. Detroit Lions, nothing.
What about a guy like Matt Hasselbeck?
Had a moment and a flashback. He had a moment and a flash, and then he became basic at the highest level.
Yeah.
And Matt is not the other Hasselbeck.
He's not Tim.
Right.
Yes.
Who never really had a moment.
No. Also, I was looking up some of these quarterbacks, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Eli Manning is 500 in his career. Is there a more Eli Manning stat than being 500 in his career? It's like Eli's good.
I need to give him. I'm not mad at a guy who, on 2 different occasions, on the biggest stage possible, was better than the GOAT.
Right.
Right. That's like criticizing Joe Frazier, Kenny Norton. Like, he's the Kenny Norton of that. He belonged in the conversation of the great because of the way he competed against the greats.
Mm-hmm.
But he did not stand alone in his greatness.
No.
And that had he, it's a weird thing to say that you have to win 3 Super Bowls to get credit. He's not Joe Namath.
No.
Right? He's above Joe Namath.
Mm-hmm.
So if Joe Namath is a Hall of Famer, Eli's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
But if you're using the proper metrics for Super Bowl quarterbacks, Eli just misses because of the 500 level.
Right.
But the longevity and the mass volume of numbers he put up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some, like, he was the guy. There's some guys who are in that conversation who had to beat out some dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I still find it amusing that Kurt Warner had to beat out 3 people just to get on. Like, he had to go from Arena League, grocery store to Arena League to the NFL to waiting for Farrat and Trent Green to go down so he gets an opportunity, and then he never looks back.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Couch.
Yep.
Who
Pride of Kentucky, right?
Anymore?
Well,
anymore? Here's one that might have been before your time, but when you talk about he's okay quarterbacks, I come from an era of NFC East where it was the St. Louis Cardinals, New York Giants, Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
And in there was a 5-year stretch, 6 years, where Joe Pisarcik.
Okay, I've heard the name. Could not tell you anything about him.
So he's a part of the great blunder of all blunders when it comes to quarterbacks in the NFL, because with the Giants leading the Eagles in a meaningful game, leading late in the 4th quarter with the ball, clock running, no timeouts, he decides to hand the ball off instead of taking a knee. And he fumbles it. It is picked up, scooped, and a game-winning touchdown was scored.
So that's where Mario Cristobal got it.
Except, do you know who returned that touchdown? Do you know who scooped the fumble? And he is a NFL head coach, was an NFL head coach, was recently a college head coach. Again, Herm Edwards.
Nice.
Right. Like it's a thing.
Is that Herm's biggest career moment?
Yes, 100%. Here are Pisarcik's numbers. He threw for 43 interceptions in those 7 years. 43 interceptions. That's not bad, right? 43 in 7 years. Except, how many touchdowns went with those 43 interceptions?
Fewer than 40?
Fewer than 20.
Oh, boy.
18 TDs, 43 interceptions. Ay. Here's another one. He's all right. For some reason, he got to play in the league. He started for 6 seasons. Okay, so he played in 73 games. In those 73 games, he threw 58 interceptions in 73 games. Dave Brown, who played for both the Giants and the Cardinals, threw for 58 interceptions in 73 games.
You can start your franchise with one guy, DP. Dave Brown or Daniel Jones?
Oh boy, it's Daniel Jones, and it's not even close. Like I remembered him. Here's one that we talked about him yesterday, right? That he completed 56% of his passes, but he threw 37 interceptions for 31 touchdowns. Quincy Carter.
Yep.
That 31 and 37 stat line brings true pain to anybody who was. There's a guy that you may not remember, but he played for the Cincinnati Bengals and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the late 70s, early 80s. He was known as the throwing Samoan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard
Jack
the nickname.
Thompson, the throwing Samoan. He won 1 game with the Bengals and 3 with the Bucs.
And he only played in 4 career games, DP?
Them's the numbers. Them's the numbers. Dag. There's certain kickers that are on this list of hey, okay. So imagine there's a kicker for the Giants, Cardinals, and Patriots in the 80s. In 1 year, he made 10 of 13. It's okay. Except for the next year, he went 3 for 11.
Whoops.
Never kicked again.
That's 13 and 24 for a career.
Eric Schubert. Never kicked again.
Who was that kicker that won MVP?
Mark Mosley.
Mark Mosley. There it is.
Straight toe. He's got the toes of my cowboy boots.
Yep.
Square toe.
Yep.
Great afro for a white guy. Fantastic. There are pictures of Mark Mosley with the afro, and it is spectacular. Spectacular. This is before. Here's the thing about being with Washington. For some reason, the white dudes on Washington.
Oh, you're not kidding, DP.
Oh, the look, it's spectacular. The afro that Mark Mosley rocked was spectacular, and it grew. It grew. It started with like a tight cut. No,
that's got some volume to
it. He had the poof. He had the poof, and the guy wore. I mean, I think the number was 18 socks on his kicking leg during games. Like his right leg looked 3 times the size of his plant leg, and then he wore straight toe kicking shoe that they thought was manufactured illegally. It was checked weekly to make sure it wasn't loaded, like that he could, because he would punch down on it before he kicked, right? Like he was loading the shoe. You see with wrestlers, like the Iron Sheik. He would load his shoe by kicking it into the mat, and then all of a sudden it became that much harder. And that was Mark Mosley. Great. I mean, and a great guy too. We did TV together. Amazing guy. Was the first NFL player I knew to wear cologne. And he took a lot of grief over it. because he had the afro.
Isn't that a kicker thing though to wear cologne?
But Mosley was the trendsetter for that.
Gotcha.
That he in the 70s, curly hair. He was the first kicker who would wear the turtleneck with the blazer and the gold chain.
Oh, so he's Kirk Cousins before Kirk Cousins.
I'll explain all this in several words. He was best friends with Joe Theismann.
Noted.
That gives you any idea.
Next.
Right. This quarterback had 8 starts for the Raiders, 3 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Andrew Walter. They put a lot behind him, and it didn't go well. This Hall of Famer's brother played for the Seahawks and Dolphins. At 6'8", at quarterback,
Chris
didn't make it. Dan McGuire. Didn't make it. These are the quarterbacks that are just meh. I understand that this is what it was not what they thought it was going to be. Now here's a Heisman Trophy winner, right? Matt Leinart falls in the disappointment file, right? Right? Like he played for the Cardinals for 4 years, Texans for a run, but now he's broadcasting. But I think that's fair, right?
How about I phrase it this way? Matt Leinart is no Matt Barkley.
Fair in place, right? That exists. Here's one of your boys. Drafted by the Colts in 1982.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time on Vegas hotlines. Art Schlichter.
Good old Art. Yep.
Buckeye great. Disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing. This one they list that I agree with, but I also don't agree with. That they list him as one of the great disappointments in NFL history. He played for the Carolina Panthers from 1997 to 1999.
Okay.
He's also noted for being in one of the most famous trials of an athlete. Ray Caruth.
Yeah.
Who I think I was the only person in Carolina who got him interviewed his rookie and second year. And then of course that thing.
I can see where the disappointment comes from the outside, but that feels very surface level, before you really dig into it.
Yeah. There's some things. There's some things there, right? I mean, here's another one of your boys.
Oh boy. Okay.
Had pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
But drafted by the Colts in 1986. So they went from Schlichter to this fine gentleman.
Harbaugh?
Trudeau.
Trudeau.
Jack Trudeau. He had a record of 18-29 and then lost 11 straight.
Whoops.
11 straight. Yeah, those are some.
It is pretty incredible just looking back through Colts history, which I'm trying to do more and more of. Like, I like to think of them from my youth as one of the NFL's model franchises. They ain't. They're not.
Yeah.
I want them to be. They had the Unitas Morale run, and then it was pretty mid, not very good. And then they had Peyton, and then it should have been Andrew, but then it's just been a whole lot of whatever. Like, the Colts are like the most he's okay franchise in the NFL.
Why is the text line so mean?
What are they doing this time?
They're like, what about Eric Crouch? Dang, man. Leave that man alone. He got family. And they're here in Nebraska. Leave that man alone. This fine gentleman, I got to host him on his initial weekend in Washington. When he was drafted, they were brought in. As a matter of fact, so there was a stretch in D.C. where if you were drafted by the Redskins, I hosted you and like all of the events, right? So all the television cameras would come to my spot. They would post up and do interviews. We would put up them, their family, whoever they brought in. We'd give them a hotel room, that whole thing. As a pro, he finished with a quarterback rating of 54. Oof. He is currently a member of the U.S. House of Representatives from North Carolina. Heath Schuler.
There you go.
Certainly disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no.
Was he disappointed? So many of these disappointments come down to two categories. Is it their fault? Was it their surroundings? And they always play together, but I think you can typically blame either the surroundings or the player more.
He was from Tennessee. He was their version, that version. And there were several versions of Zach Wilson. That he was kind of an all shucks Tennessee boy from Knoxville, right? All shucks, And then you go to DC. And there's a lot. There's some sharks in the water in DC. He had some people who they thought would help him because the posse was still around. But there were folks who weren't going to help. I mean, first of all, you had Gary Clark and Monk, throw me the ball. Like, get me the ball. They then did another thing in that they drafted another well-known college star into that fold who also didn't have success in DC. He went on to have later success in the Super Bowl, but Desmond Howard didn't do well in DC at all. DC was a renowned veteran town. It was not a rookie town. I mean, Timmy Smith didn't play until the Super Bowl. There was no other Timmy Smith day like that in the regular season in Washington. He had that day because he didn't know he was playing until right before kickoff. And then he had a day. So, and then we'll do one more and then we'll get a break. This quarterback was drafted by the Panthers in 2001. He was out of the league by 2008. He had in 2001, they were 1-15. He was older. He holds the distinction for having the most consecutive losses by any quarterback.
So he would have backed up Delhomme. Okay. Was that a Harrington that you was mentioning? No, wait.
Florida State.
Weinke?
Chris Weinke.
Yep.
That's not a record you want, Chris. That's not a record you want. That's not good. That's not good. All right, well, toward the break, we'll go back in history because the guy we're going to come up with next played at Purdue.
Curtis Painter?
Quarterback from Purdue. Up next on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
I'm Dave Osted. And I'm Ryan Osted. Every golfer will get value from being custom fit. The truth is, the higher handicappers will get more value from being custom fit than the low handicappers.
It's changed so much since my dad started the business in 1963. We now have hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology, and we know exactly what the spin rate is, what the launch angle is. We encourage you to bring your current clubs in now, and we can compare it. And guys walk out of the store knowing that the purchase they just made is going to give them 21 more yards off the tee box. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Does it seem like your clothes dryer doesn't dry like it used to? It may not be your dryer. It may be your dryer vent. When the vent becomes obstructed, it drastically reduces the efficiency of your dryer. Even worse, it can be a fire hazard. Here's the simple solution. Call Bryant. Bryant will thoroughly clean the vent and show you the before and after results. Call 467-1111. Keep your dryer operating efficiently and your home safe. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you ready to take your seating season to the next level? Now's your chance with Landmark Implement's early order program. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season on new John Deere air seeders and drills, including the N500C Central Commodity System. Experience the ease of operation with the new N500C's intuitive design, simplifying your seeding process and saving you valuable time in the field. Lock in the largest cash discount, snag the best financing rate, and ensure availability on a new drill. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosden. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Lincoln is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and actively involved in our community. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Property tax relief is important to every family, and I will continue to deliver more property tax relief to working families. This is Carolyn Bosden, and I am asking for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Bosden for Legislature.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Uncle Harvey out there on his walk. We see you, Unc.
That's a walk.
That's a walk. Like that's a walk there. You know what? The bonus check just landed in the account.
Tax refund, baby.
Yeah. He's walking like, oh, we got some extra cash today. Let's go ahead and walk it out. Man, there's some numbers. So this Purdue quarterback had some numbers. He said, the text line says the biggest disappointment is Kyle Orton. But this Purdue quarterback had a thing. 108 interceptions. 108 to go with 55 touchdowns. 55 touchdowns. 108 interceptions.
Just for reference, this man's touchdown to interception ratio would have lost a game 163 for the first pick in the MLB draft.
100%.
Think about that.
100%. That he was an All-American at Purdue. So before Drew Brees, before Kyle Orton, before them, there was Mike Phipps, who played for the Cleveland Browns and led the Browns from 70 to 76. And then when done torturing the Browns, he didn't decide to go to the Chicago Bears and then tortured the Bears. again, 108 interceptions to 55 TDs. It really was rolling the dice when he threw the ball.
How many years was that again?
Let me just so 7 years with the Browns.
Okay.
And 4 with the Bears.
That man was throwing 5 touchdowns to 10 picks a year.
Every year. Like
take it to the bank.
Like colorblind. something. I'm not real sure. I'm daggone. That's a lot. There are some other folks. There's some other folks. Wow. There's some folks in this thing that when you talk about disappointing, and disappointing is relative, they mentioned a legendary last name drafted by the Baltimore Colts in 1981. Any idea? Legendary last name drafted by the Colts in 1981. Dad was a head coach, Hall of Famer.
Oh, that should be the giveaway.
He averaged 5 yards of return and averaged 13 yards of return on kickoffs. 5 yards of return and punt returns. 13 on kickoffs. Dave Shula. Dave Shula.
Oof. Funny because they give it to you at the 20. So if you average 13.
What are you even doing? What are you even doing?
Dave, no.
What are you doing?
Dave, go be Brian Ferentz.
Right, go ahead and coach. Here's another one that in 1999 he was drafted in the first round. Wow. In 461 pass attempts, he threw 13 interceptions. Remember that 2-to-1 ratio that Mike Phipps had? This gentleman was through 5 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions. Oregon Duck. Achilles Smith.
Achilles Smith. Yeah.
Achilles Smith.
That's not a he's okay. That's a now there's a guy.
Yeah, there's a guy. Another. So
yeah.
Here's one for you. And this guy's now a broadcaster for the Dallas Cowboys. He made 7 starts in his whole career. He was a broadcaster 4 times longer than he was in the NFL. 7 starts in his whole career. Threw 11 picks, completed 44% of his passes.
Yeah.
Babe Laufenberg. Babe Laufenberg, who just didn't do enough.
Here's a guy that I wanted to throw out there, but I don't think actually meets the qualification. Definitely closer to here's a guy. John Kitna.
Yes.
He threw more touchdowns than he did interceptions, so he doesn't really belong on this list. And that's a problem, because I really thought John Kitna was going to be one of them.
So good. This one is so good because, of course, he played for the Redskins at some point, but he's not known for playing for the Redskins. Back in 1974, he was drafted first round. 5 seasons in the NFL. The numbers read as such. He was 2-5 as a starter, completed 40% of his passes. 40.
He's got a 3-point shooter.
40. He threw 4 touchdowns in those 7 games. Dare to make a guess of how many interceptions young man went with his 4 touchdowns and 40% completion.
Okay, so my bottom line guess, the low end guess, is 11 interceptions.
Okay.
My upper boundary is going to be 18.
We're going to play the Price is Right game and see how quickly how long it takes you to get to his right number. So you're going to start at 11, right?
Start at 11.
Higher.
15.
Higher.
19.
Higher.
23.
Higher.
34.
Lower.
30.
Lower.
27.
Higher.
28.
Higher.
29.
It took you 9 guesses. It took you 9 guesses. Kim McQuilkin started for the Atlanta Falcons and threw 4 touchdowns and 29 interceptions.
In 7 games?
In 7 games as a starter. 29 interceptions. How in the wide world of sports is that even possible?
That's half a touchdown to 4 interceptions per game.
Listen, when I said you just want the ability for quarterbacks to be as bad as their as other quarterbacks. I'm going to say that he's the worst quarterback. Is that the worst? Here's the point of reference. And you tell me how this works. This quarterback had 14 starts. 13 touchdowns in those 14 starts. 33 interceptions.
Ooh.
30. Who do you want the 4 and 29 guy over the 13 and 33 guy, right? I'm not sure.
No, 13 to 33 is
right.
That's about twice as good.
So to tell you that Mr. 13 and 33 is Ryan Leaf.
Yes, I take Ryan Leaf over
And
Kim McQuilkin.
Kim McQuilkin was 4 and 13.
I take Ryan Leaf.
The fact that we said that. Now, 4 to 29 is what, 1 to 7?
Yeah.
How about we have a quarterback who has a worse touchdown to interception ratio?
Is this Peterman?
No.
Oh, the Peterman, though, DP.
No. Oh, this is bad.
Peterman's only 4 to 13 in his career.
And he played in
slander.
He played in the 80s. He was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, finished his career with the Chicago Bears. These numbers are spectacular.
Oh, boy.
115 career attempts.
Okay.
115.
25 interceptions?
He threw 1 touchdown and 11 interceptions in 115 passes. 11.
Yikes.
1 out of 10. 1 out of every 10 went to the opposing team. Did he get beat up in the locker room? What did he have to catch Greyhound home? He played for the Cardinals. Rusty Leash from the played at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
Speaking of Notre Dame, there's a Rick Meyer submission.
Well, I'm not. We'll get there.
Oh boy!
But he made his first career start and was 10 for 23 for 99 yards, and it was so bad that, mind you, let me give you the stat that lets you further know how bad this was. That Rusty Leash had Walter Payton in the backfield behind him. Not even play action from the GOAT could get you from. And it got so bad in his first start that Mike Ditka pulled Rusty Leash and put Walter Payton at quarterback.
Good choice. What took you so long, Mike? What took you so long?
That is
oh my gosh.
Epic. What's the Rick Meyer? What do you have for Rick Meyer?
No, he just threw it out there as a suggestion.
Oh,
I was hoping you knew about Rick
bad.
Meyer.
He was bad.
Pretty bad?
He was bad. People said, okay, and for some reason, I'm going to need verification on this because it seems to me like his numbers can't be worse than 111, 429. But Jamarcus Russell, who I know that he threw 23 interceptions.
Okay, Jamarcus Russell, 52% completion, 4,000 yards, 18 touchdowns to 23 interceptions.
So he's not in the neighborhood of Rusty Leash. He's not in the same stratosphere.
What were the expectations for Rusty compared to Jamarcus?
Well, a Notre Dame
It's all
quarterback.
relative,
A
right?
Notre Dame quarterback who's starting for the Bears. Like, I don't know what you expect. It says here that Rusty Lish's passer rating was 25, bro. 25.6. His
Oh boy.
Rusty Lish was drafted in the 4th round. He was the number 89 pick.
Russell went 1-1.
I understand that, but still. 1-11.
4-29.
Bruh.
I could do that for cheaper.
Like right now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Where did he go to high school?
Rick Meyer or Jamarcus Russell?
In Illinois. It said Bellevue West, and I was like, what?
Oh boy.
But apparently there's a Bellevue West in Illinois.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, we weren't going to leave on that note. Like, we'd had to come up with another all-time worst. Russell John Rusty Leash, who was an All-American and a national champion at Notre Dame. Man, those are numbers, bro. Whew, he had a 336-yard passing effort for the Irish against South Carolina in a big victory. Don't go anywhere. One-on-one coming up next.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through May